we want to look at the angles at the center and the circumference. What is the relationship between them? Okay, remember this is the center, okay, and this is the, so we want to know the relationship between these two angles. What is the relationship between these two angles? Again, I'm going to open an application, then we can explore and find out the relationship between these guys. So I'm going to move around A, and I just want you to observe and see what happens. We can see that A is 64 and it's not changing as I'm moving A around. But what's the relationship between these two angles? You can see that this angle at the top, the angle at the circumference, is actually double the angle at the center. For example, if I reduce this to something like 8 degrees, you can see that this angle at the center is double that angle. Okay? And the same applies to this case. Again, this angle is double that angle. And sometimes you may see that small difference, and it's because of the application, the way it's programmed. Yeah, it rounds off the answers to nearest whole number, and sometimes it won't be as accurate as supposed to be. But in reality, it is. So again, here we can see that this angle is double that angle. So we can go ahead and generalize and say that the angle subtended at the center is twice the angle subtended at the circumference. So we can go ahead and say that the angle what that means is that if this angle is x, this will be 2x, okay? It will be double that angle. And let's look at some examples and see how we can apply this. Now work out the size of the angle marked x. Of course, we can see here that angle x here will be half of 84, so you can just go ahead and say x will be 84 divided by 2, which will be equal to 42 degrees. And here we can see that x will be double the angle of the circumference. So x will be 18 multiplied by 2, which will be 36 degrees. Example 2, work out the size of the angle marked x. And again, what we can see here is it's just the same idea, okay? And if you look at the application that we used to investigate this situation, if I move that bit there, we have the same situation as what we have here, right? And the same theorem still applies here, okay? So the same theorem still applies. This angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So we can go ahead and say that x will be equal to 42 multiplied by 2, which will be equal to 84 degrees. And again, in B, we are going to use the same application again, though it may not be very clear. But what we have is something like that. And it's not exactly something like that. Now, if you notice here, you can see that this angle is double the angle. The angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. Okay? The angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So you're going to use the same idea to work out this question. And we can clearly say that x will be equal to 2 multiplied by 100, which will be 200 degrees.